When I was 9, I was very interested, nay, I was obsessed with the thought of turning 10. Numerically speaking, turning 10 is a very significant moment because you go from being represented by 1 digit to being represented by 2 digits. And it's very likely you will die before you get close to being represented by 3 digits. I have very specific and strong memories of this age and my thoughts about this age, partially because that age was the only age that I really took age seriously. The emotional significance of turning 13 and turning 16 and turning 18 got progressively dimmer as I passed each landmark, and that has brought me here, because now I'm 21. Yay! Honestly, a large part of the happiness that I do have about turning 21 is simply due to the fact that I'm no longer expected to really look forward to ages anymore. But reaching this landmark age that marks the end of landmark ages has got me thinking, not only about birthdays, but all other emotionally invested holidays. Coming up this year, we have Christmas time, and after that, we have New Year's, which is the most time-locked, emotionally invested holiday that I can really think of. I mean, the idea that an entire year, an entire 52 weeks, 365 and a quarter days are going to be defined by the decisions you make at the beginning and the degree to which you stick to those decisions, not only from experience seems rather odd, but does also seem kind of odd logically. The expectations we put on days like New Year's Day, and our 16th birthdays, and our 18th birthdays, and our 21st birthdays is, on those days, there will be some sort of immediate and significant shift in who we are. We think we're going to become smarter, or more dedicated, or more mature, simply because there's some significance that we've given to a particular day. Now, this isn't a new revelation at all, and it's very possible that you are thinking right now, duh? I mean, does anyone really give weight to New Year's resolutions anymore? Isn't it kind of a joke? It's become a kind of tiredly inveterate satire of the holiday itself, talking about how the holiday doesn't work. And the general conclusion of this satire is these days that we mark so preciously are completely meaningless. I disagree with that. I think these days are meaningful, just not in the ways that we keep saying that they are. Changes aren't immediate, but changes can be seen immediately if we have the right scope. See, when we talk about a resolution, or a coming of age, or even the beginning of a short-term venture like NaNoWriMo, we aren't really thinking about the journey that we're going to be taking. We're just thinking about the result and the destination that we want to reach. The fact that some of these events are so emotionally fused that they become so memorable to us, even though we don't want them necessarily to be memorable to us, gives us an opportunity to be able to see the journey that we're taking. The things that I noticed looking back on the New Year's resolution of video blogging are things that I would not think to have marked down when I started video blogging. Things like being able to use the power of the internet to analyze social networks, or finding a fellow group of creators that would ultimately become my friends. These are things that I couldn't think to expect back then, or even recognize as important. I was just starting out. The only thing that I really knew about were view counts. But being able to look back on that day when I said, video blogging looks pretty cool, I'd like to see if I can try to make this work. Being able to have some sort of landmark, which I'm only really able to see the significance of later, is valuable. It makes it much easier to look at my life from a larger perspective when I have particular dates or particular moments that I remember very strongly and that I have a very comprehensive knowledge about. And the reason that I have that knowledge about a lot of those days is due to the culture saying that those days were important for some reason. They turned out to be very important, just not for the reasons that culture said they'd be. So don't buy the hype, but also don't buy the cynicism. Seemingly insignificant days can become significant in the future simply because we were able to remember them. This is Jacke Karashae, wishing you memorable holidays.